As the saying goes, defense wins championships. In games like basketball, where we usually see high-flying dunks and lots of scoring, defense often doesn't get the attention it deserves. But over the years, we've seen a rise in some exceptional defenders who can make a huge difference for a team. With that being said, let's take a look at the 15 best defenders in NBA history, starting off with the one and only Tony Allen. In a list mostly filled with tall players who protect the hoop, Allen stands out as a guy who defends on the outside, away from the basket. In fact, Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players of all time, said that Allen was the defender who made it tough for him to score.
Kobe, toughest defender for you?
Tony Allen. That's easy. Yeah. Tony Allen.
Yep, he was a pretty big deal. Plus, he proved it again and again, especially when he was selected for 6 All-NBA defensive teams. 3 times he was on the first team, and 3 times he was on the second team. Bill Russell. To be honest, this guy's statistics might not look spectacular on paper because some stats like blocks weren't tracked during his era. But don't let that fool you. His defensive contributions were extraordinary and played a very important role in his 11 championship victories. And despite his career average of 15.1 points per game, Russell was a 5-time MVP. His team-first approach and defensive abilities set him apart. In fact, he holds the all-time record in defensive win shares with 133.6. Ben Wallace. This guy was no joke. Despite being shorter than most centers at 6 foot 9 inches, Wallace was super intimidating on the defensive end of the court. He won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, which is the most ever, and in 2002, he led the league in blocks and was selected to the All-Defense First Team 5 times. He had incredible strength, athleticism, skills, and a strong work ethic that led him to dominate in the paint with his exceptional defense. Even some of the greatest players like Shaquille O'Neal felt intimidated by him. Kevin Garnett. Throughout his entire career, Garnett has consistently stood out as a phenomenal player, but his defense skills were most evident during his time with the Celtics. He played a big role in transforming one of the league's weakest defensive teams into one of the strongest and toughest. Back then, he made such a strong impact that he even earned the Defensive Player of the Year award. His improved defense allowed him to effectively shut down elite opponents like Paul Gasol, whose toughness and skills had been questioned for a long period. Scottie Pippen. This 6 foot 8 inch tall amazing athlete had everything needed to be a great defense, and he proved it by becoming one of the best defensive players the Bulls have ever had. He was part of an incredible defensive trio with Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. He often had the challenging task of guarding the best opponent on the other team, and a pretty great example of this was when he effectively shut down Magic Johnson in the 1991 NBA Finals. Pippen was recognized for his defensive skills with 10 selections to the All-Defensive Teams and leading in steals in 1995. Michael Jordan. Besides the fact that he was one of the greatest of all times, MJ was known for making crucial plays in important moments, and his defensive skills were a huge part of that. Jordan was awarded the Defensive Player of the Year title in 1988, and he shares the record for the most selections to the All-Defensive First Team with 9. Throughout his career, he led the league in steals for 3 seasons and made a total of 2,415 steals, frequently disrupting opponents' plays by stealing the ball or intercepting passes. Kawhi Leonard, aka The Claw, is one of the best defenders ever. Although he has faced some injury challenges recently, when he's in good shape, he can effectively stop any superstar in the league. Leonard achieved back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards in 2015 and 2016, and has been selected to the All-Defensive Team 7 times. His combination of size and defensive instincts makes him exceptional on that end of the court. Dwight Howard. This guy was the top pick in the NBA draft, and he had an incredible defensive peak in his career. He won 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2 titles for blocking shots, and 5 titles for rebounding from 2008 to 2013. Fans loved him for his exceptional shot blocking skills and his dominance in these defensive aspects of the game. And although his prime years were relatively short, many believe that he had a very successful 18-year career in the NBA. Tim Duncan. This player is one of those who were always considered the best of the best at heart, but sadly never received an award for it. Yep, Duncan never got to win the Defensive Player of the Year award, which many fans found surprising and unfair. Despite that, he ranked second all-time in defensive win shares and was named to the All-Defensive First Team 8 times. Not just this, but he also earned a spot on the All-Defensive Second Team 7 times. So when you look at it all together, Duncan was selected for the All-Defensive Teams 15 times, the most of any player, and he only missed out on this honor 4 times in his career. Gary Payton. Did you know the Glove got his nickname because of his incredibly tight and effective defense against his opponents? He's one of only 2 point guards in NBA history to be named the Defensive Player of the Year. In 1996, the same year he won the Defensive Player of the Year award, he also led the league in steals. Payton was recognized for his outstanding defensive skills by being named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team 9 times. Dennis Rodman. Famous for his willingness to sacrifice his body to help his team, this player would dive for loose balls and was a real annoyance for opponents. He earned 7 All-Defense First Team selections and was named Defensive Player of the Year twice. Many even consider him the best rebounder in NBA history. Rodman didn't need to score much. He was a team player who contributed to 5 NBA final wins. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Although he's only played 10 seasons in the NBA, he's not done yet. But the fact that he's still on the list is enough to tell you that he's already making a big impact on defense. This means he can defend close to the basket or out on the court against smaller players. He's been chosen for 5 All-Defensive teams, and in 2020, he was named the Defensive Player of the Year. Dikembe Mutombo. He has all the qualities needed to be a fantastic defender in the league. And of course, with a height of 7'1", he had the perfect combination of size, strength, athleticism, and long arms, making him one of the most prominent defensive players. Mutombo was not just an excellent shot blocker, he was one of the very best, adept at swatting away shots right at the rim. His shot blocking skills are among the best in the history of the league. Plus, he's excelled as a help defender, always there to support his teammates on defense. One of the most remarkable achievements was his record 31 blocks in one game, a feat that remains one of the greatest upsets in NBA history. All these qualities earned him numerous Defensive Player of the Year awards, making him the most decorated defender in the history of professional basketball. LeBron James. The King. But that's not the only nickname he's gotten. Due to his impressive defensive contributions, fans started calling him the middle linebacker. He's known for his ability to provide crucial support in defending against key plays. And while his pace may have slowed with time, he brings much more to the game than what you see in his statistics. He's very good at protecting the paint when defending, making him an excellent perimeter help defender, as seen when opponents like Sean Kilpatrick try to shoot off the dribble. And the best part is that LeBron's quick hands pose a challenge for opponents who play farther away from the hoop, leading to turnovers and fouls, much like when we saw him play against the Mavericks in December. Hakeem Olajuwon, more famously known as The Dream, is the NBA's all-time leader in blocked shots with a remarkable 3,830 blocks. He received the Defensive Player of the Year award twice and led the league in blocks during 3 different seasons. Olajuwon was selected for the All-Defensive Team on 9 occasions, and he maintained an average of 3.1 blocks per game throughout his career. This also made him one of the most formidable shot blockers in NBA history. Well, that's all for today's video. Who was your favorite defender so far? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more basketball content. Thanks for watching.